community, and we are expecting, next 2 days time, our Vietnam community. Whoa, we are feeling the energy and so excited, that we are going to meet the Vietnam community for the first time. So definitely we are going to make an accomplishment, and together we definitely going to learn and get all the knowledge that we need out there and to share to the community. So today, at this moment, we are actually going back to Singapore, and I'm currently in Malaysia immigration going back to Singapore. So it will require some time. There's a technical disruption. In case I might have to leave the podcast for a short time for immigration inspection, but that does not lead. We will end our podcast. We'll be continuing our podcast, and this shows our energy and enthusiasm for this podcast and all for all the community out there. So, let's proceed with today's podcast. So, today we're talking about the beginning UBX Launchpad, and for those of you that is listening podcast, and for those that are joining us today, please join our official Telegram group. You can see all the QR codes down there. So scan and join us for latest update and news. All right. So let's start with our podcast today. Today we are talking about UBX Launchpad. So what basically UBX Launchpad? So basically, as you know now, we have a strategic partner. All right, GC Labs is actually joining and help us to actually to allocate and identify possible potential project that are actually venturing into country, and from there we actually provide incubation and resource for them to actually to be one of the projects in the valley. So who is actually GC Labs? All right. So basically we have more information about and least but not least, but let's talk about what is launched for general information. Next. So now you would like to understand what crypto launch. Okay. So why launchpads are essential for blockchain projects. Next. So basically, for those are you there, why crypto projects require a launchpad? So what are the challenges that do they face if they do not launch or not actually proceed during their uh, enlargement of the project or doing a progression without launchpad? These are the few challenges that they actually, all right, they basically have limited access to funding. They do not actually, they actually will face all these issues, like for example like traditional VCs, right, where the big players monopolize all this advantage. So basically they join earlier, and then in behind the back then they actually promote, saying that there's no such pre-sale, etc. So all these are some of the examples that we are actually seeing. Because I they do not have actual audit, or say there's no scrutinized checking on them. So this will lead to all these possible results. So a simple term we can say is that basically we actually protect the investors benefits. So in order they do not actually face all these kinds of possible failures that affect the project. Next. Next. Next slide. So by how, all right, Launchpad can actually help them to actually solve some of these challenges. All right. For example, actually Launchpad actually will help them to actually to do the background checking. All right, at least we know that the projects are actually going on. Then there's not actually an empty shell project. Okay, and nonetheless, Queenie, please back two slides. Back one slide. Sorry, guys. Basically, I'm actually doing the podcast. All right. Without access of the slides. Yeah. All right. So basically, as you see, with the Launchpad, all right, we actually can solve all these issues by doing these few steps. Number one, definitely, we actually have a project vetting where we actually have a look. All right, we actually gone through to do a checking whether these projects actually exist, and also. Not only that, we actually can analyze and evaluate whether the potential of the project it is going to be evaluated with a high potential value. So not only that, we actually can have a fair allocation system. We make sure that the target economics is really distributed fairly. On top of that, all right, there's also investors protection and where it is transparent, right? Because in the end, we can actually check all the white papers to know to ensure that everything is actually on the right path. So with all the reasons, all right, for we see on the slides previously, so it will be much easier, all right, or put it away that it's much safe to actually do it through a launchpad or to participate projects that actually launch through launchpad. Because why? It's a diligence done. Okay, so to ensure the investors' risks are actually being minimized. So, what are the procedures? All right, that the fact take what is the actually going through in the launchpad where we can actually analyze and to see how the project is being evaluated. So, firstly, all right, the project will actually submit, all right, the or submit for their evaluation. So once we have gone through the evaluation, we actually take consideration into the token sales and allocation model. So from there, we evaluate to see how, all right, the token economics being distributed, and then from there we will start, all right, into lottery based, stacking based for allocation for pre-sale and etc. So from there, we definitely need to make sure that there's no early adjustments or early distribution or changes in the token economics. From there, once we have identified and making sure the token economics, we actually start doing the fundraising. Okay, from here we'll do most like, for example, like pre-sale or pre-ICO where people can actually come and participate. In the same time, we actually take this fundraising to actually to help to develop their project. Next slide. So after helping them to actually to gather, all right, their funds to actually further develop, and also with together with the media and the resources that they help to incubate, they actually promote not only in one KOL order through media and etc. Once they have been share of news of the potential project, then we actually help them to do listing in the exchanges. Okay, so once they are actually listing in exchanges, this actually helps the project to have a liquidity, and not only that, to actually help to promote where other users in the exchanges to able to identify to see the potential of this project. So once they have reached out to the user community, then we actually will help them to actually to growth their expansion in the ecosystem to start to spread their potential projects into various different exchanges where they can leverage in the media and sharing from the exchanges. So after that, once they actually have a very good ecosystem where this is actually a benefit for all the people that actually participated in the launchpad, where they can reap a potential high returns. Next slide. So how actually GC Labs come in place? All right. What's the benefits of having GC Labs into the picture of Launchpad? So basically, GC Labs will actually help them to do the investment and funding. They provide funding, right, for them to actually to enhance, all right, to give advice and also, all right, helping them to do strategy supports to help them to grow their products or even their business projects. So in the end, support and help. They not only provide all the professions that they need, all right, not only the fund, not only the support, but also the top tier developers and advisors. With GC Labs in the picture, they actually have vast connections with the experience they have from previous project, over 100 over companies investments that they did in the Web3. So these are the things that they actually can benefit, right, for all the potential projects that actually come in. So they will help them to incubate and also to develop them in to get them prepared for the market entry. Next slide. Next slide, please. So, who is the person behind GC Capital? So, this guy is actually a very, very magnificent person because he himself has been a very he did a very, very accomplishment, a very big accomplishment in his personal experience and also his back the slide, please. Thank you. So he did a very, very great accomplishment and also accomplishments. All right. So basically, he's one of the 500 traders in Binance. All right, with such a young age, at age of 21, he actually managed to make a profit trade of 16 million USDT. So at that point of time, it is a very, very big accomplishment where he actually able to get. Yes, thank you. All right. So basically, he's one of the head investments of M3 Tao. Okay, also the founder and managing of partners of GC Capital. So not only that, he with his personal experience in Binance for 2 years as listing head of NFT. Not only that, he also the ex-MXC global listing head, ex-private banker, ex-teen entrepreneur with seven-figure exit, and also a finance graduate in UK. So with his investment background, he previously made a eight-figure crypto profit, as I mentioned before. Before age of 25, he already made around 60 million USDT in trade profit. On top of that, he actually is one of the early investors in Bitcoin and Ethereum investors and invested over 100 plus crypto projects and single-handled multi-million USD volumes in Binance and worked with such big entrepreneurs like Amazon, OKX, Bybit, and etc. Next slide. So, sorry guys, we are actually going through in the custom, so there might some technical issues our slides that our host here will actually have to handle. So if you guys don't mind, we'll be actually using verbal to actually communicate as we are actually going through the custom. So sorry for the technicals. Yeah, host please, next slide. Host, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Next, not back.
This is the next slide.
Okay, now mind. So as we are in this slide, okay, since we are at this, we might as well just all right. So as this, you can see actually his proven track record, where he's one of the Fortune 500.
Okay, so why actually GC Capital matters is they actually shown us proven track record in the crypto and blockchain investment, as well as the strong industrial connections and strategic partnership with a lot of big boys out in the market. So that is why actually they join us and actually They also have a lot of innovative projects with sustainable business model to enhance UBX platform. So I'll be touching on while Victor will be coming back in a while. So there is some proven track record in the crypto and blockchain investments by them. So for GC Capital, they actually enter Binance top 500 traders in 2021. They actually crossed a profit of 1.5 million USD in profit. So their greatest track record is actually the Gala tokens, and also the Shiba Inu and the GMT. If I'm not wrong, the GMT is actually a watch, like a DePIN token. So it's a watch branding. So they actually make they raise their market cap to, like for Shiba Inu, they raise it up to 25 billion. And for Gala, they actually raised the market cap to 5.8 billion. And also the GMT, they actually raised their market cap to 2.4 billion as their track record. So they also have a lot of connection with multiple strategic partners. They also have they work with Cristiano Ronaldo before, Mike Tyson, Tyson Fury, and Frank Muir, even Jimmy Choo are one of their uh, partnerships along the way in the crypto industry. So during then, the total sales for Binance, they actually managed to work up to the 30 million USDT. And also they managed to acquire 800 over K users for the platform. And by building this result, they actually made in the recognitions in the Web3 uh, compared to all the traditional market. They actually have this track record, and this is priceless because nothing can beat the recognitions in the Web3 industry. So in future, for GC Capital, they actually have a lot of connections. They are actually backing with a lot of innovative project with sustainable business model in the past. So they actually worked before with Saffron, Deep Link, and actually many others different projects.
Just to add on, these are the current projects that actually made together with other their strategic partners. All right. So basically, James and GC, all right, they actually has invested, all right, more than 100 plus, and these are the projects that you can see, especially Solvicoin that actually listed currently, all right, like 3 weeks ago in Binance. They have actually made 30 times the profit in this coin alone. Nonetheless, they are actually also, all right, heavily invested in other coins, all right, and also have worked with all these exchanges or crypto projects that are very, very reputable and worth millions of hundreds of millions of projects in valuation. So definitely, we believe GC's capability, experience, all right, to able to help us to identify the potential projects that he are able to bring in. So these are actually the brands and names that you can check. Okay, it is also included not only in blockchain but also in GameFi and AI, Bitcoin ecosystem, real asset, level one and level two infrastructure and others. So basically, you can see in blockchain they have a various industry that we can actually venture into, and these are the valuation projects that worth hundreds of or millions. So as we can see that GC, although he's at a young age, but he's able to handle all these multiple projects, yeah, from his past experience, especially working in Binance and Maxi, where he gathered and able to meet all these high people that can bring in these potential projects to us. All right, next slide. So how, all right, GC Labs can actually to help us to empower and bring this revenue, all right, to our UBX exchange. So what is the value, all right, that it can actually bring to us? So first of all, there will be a listing fee. All right. So what is actually a listing fee or part? Okay. So this is actually the various fee that a project that will require, all right, to pay the exchanger and also the lab. Okay. For example, like participation fee. So with this, once they actually participate into our incubation lab, they are actually required to actually help us to get the 5 to 20% of whatever they able to gather or the crowd fund from the ecosystem. All right, this is actually a participation on paying upfront of what is the capital they're able to accomplish or collected into public. Then after that, all right, once the incubation and using this liquidity to help them to develop the project, once after being developed and being ready to actually launch in the market, we are actually able to help them to do the listing. So definitely being actually incubated GC Labs, they will highly, all right, relisting them into UBX exchange, and from there UBX able to enjoy the token listing fee. All right, they were required to pay a certain fee in terms of USDT or in their coin valuation or the numbers of coin. So from there itself already have two types of revenue. All right, least but not least, we will have our third one, which is where they help us to generate the volume on transactions in the exchanges itself. From here, you are able to enjoy the transaction fee that actually done from the trading volume in the exchange. So this is where the exchanges are able to generate, all right, the transaction fee from there. As we all know that currently Binance having the largest trading volume with worth billions of transactions per day. So just imagine for each transaction, we will just make a 1 cent or even less than 1 cent. From that amount of transaction, you are able to actually enjoy or generate a very high revenue daily for the exchange. But also, the lastly will be our UBX token, because why actually related back to our UBX token is because once we launch our Launchpad projects, all right, it will require for us to participate using UBX token. So who actually benefit the most, all right, from using UBX token? There's two-person will be involved. Number one, which is exchanges. Number two, which is our community members. Why? All our community members actually will have actually UBX token to actually participate into our Launchpad. So from here, we actually create utility for UBX token, hence creating a valuation, and this will actually pump the price in UBX token. So not only that, the exchange also will generate, all right, the revenue from there, because number one, it will increase the valuation of the token also, and this benefits the exchange also. So these are the four revenues, all right, we are able to project, all right, to able to get the benefits from the launchpad, especially, all right, when we actually launch new uh, incubation projects. Next slide. Next slide. Host, can you hear me, or am I lagging? Or
Yes, you asked for next slide, right?
yeah, behind mine. You can. I'm not lagging, right? You can hear, right?
I can hear.
Okay, the previous one, not this one.
Not this.
Previous
Potential
one.
capital gain. Previous is this.
Okay, so this you can actually see, all right. For example, yeah, just with 10 projects where we have gathered, all right, total market cap of 500 million, just a participant fee of 5%, we are able to generate itself 25 million. So as you can see from here also, with 10% of 500 million is actually itself already 550 million, up to 20%, all right, with 100 million. Just itself from participation fee, already able to enjoy such significant figures. This is why exchanges are very potential business module, because why it is a very good in actually enjoy all this value, because why in the end, for a business to want to be listing in crypto, definitely it require for them to be in exchanger. But of course, then again, in exchanger, for them to able to list, all right, easiest the lenient requirement, all right, for them to be listed is definitely in tier 3 to tier 4 exchanges. So this is why they are actually using tier 3 and tier 4 exchanges as a stepping stone for them to be listed, in order the same time to gather more wallet address and more data users in their projects, and then to be listed into higher tiers exchanger. From there you can see this is how exchanges actually works, and also gather not only liquidity but also users data. So through this you actually expose them to get to know the potential of this project, and then users get to evaluate whether this project worth buying their native coin itself. So this is some of the ideas that you can actually know, all right, to picture visualize that how it actually work in the Launchpad. Next slide, please. So now you can see once GC Lab launches, all right, the projects, so it will actually generate, yeah, firstly, which is the participant fee, which is worth millions of dollars. In the same time, once they're actually getting ready, all right, being prepped, all right, to be developed. So in that process, we will be getting them to be ready to be listing in the exchange. Once they actually ready to be listing in the exchange, once they listed, then we actually will charge them. All right, we are able to generate a listing fee, which is either in USDT or in coin in return. Okay, once they're able to actually gather, all right, once they're actually getting listed, then this project, all right, will require, all right, for them to actually to be traded in the exchanges. So when this happen itself already, the exchanger able to generate from three different kind of profit. Number one, which is the participant fee. Number two, which is listing fee, and third will be the transaction fee. So the fourth one is actually basically where the pre launch, all right, the pre-sales before they actually go listing into an exchange, where we able to utilize our UBX token to participate in the incubation, or to participate into the project, that we actually able to have a pre-hand of joining such potential projects, especially when our GC Labs able to actually provide us an early entry or early participation into these potential projects. Next. So now we are actually introducing what is actually UBX Launchpad. So basically, UBX, all right, actually, we have four valuations. Number one, we actually provide high quality projects once we actually done checking by GC Labs, all right. So they actually introduce to us potential projects that they gathered out there in the market, where they see it deem uh, possible, or deem very good valuation and future. So actually introduce them to being listing into our UBX exchange. So in order for them to list in UBX exchange, there are few criteria that they're required to do. For example, where they GC Lab should help them to incubate. In return, they'll actually be listing into UBX exchange, and from there, we're actually able to participate early projects through the launchpad in UBX exchange. So from there, we actually get to join their token allocation, okay, where we know that whether it's fair distribution through stacking, where everyone able to get of generating of the account based on your launchpad, or how much amount that you're able to stack, yeah, during the process. Also through security and credibility, and we believe that with GC's capability, yeah, we're able to identify potential projects, and we definitely do a due diligence check to ensure that all these projects are there and true, and definitely having worth per big potential. And also this also able to help to generate high liquidity, all right, for our UBX exchange, where more and more projects, all right, to coming joining into UBX exchange. This enhance and creating high liquidity not only in exchange but also in the UBX token valuation. Next slide. So these are some of the comparison that we can actually compare to other launchpad that is available in the market at this moment. Definitely at early stage, yeah, Binance previously they did and do launchpad, but as time goes by, all right, they no longer actually do launchpad. Once a while they do still have, but those are very very big projects that originally classified into the first big projects. So basically, projects we actually identify them as A, B, and C. All right, C being the early stage, A being have been incubated for a very long time, where they have a very big potential of listing. So launchpad once a while, all right, maybe 3 to 6 months or maybe a year, you're still able to see 1 to 2 launchpad. But Bybit and OKX, you can see more frequent, as they are still actually looking for users, gathering users to attract more people to actually come to use their exchanges. So Bybit and OKX, they also did quite a frequent launchpad. But one of the exchanges that they do not mention here, which I personally experienced, that they did a lot of launchpad, and with just launchpad, they've attracted, yeah, and able to bring them to top 5 exchange in a short period of 5 years. So this exchange itself, all right, is a very very strong. I believe some of you have heard of it, Big Get. So Big Get is also with a short period of time doing a very very regular launchpad, not only launchpad, launch X, a Caddy Bomb, and etc. So from there you can see the potential results that they did for Big Get and go up to top 5 exchanges in a very short time. So this is where UBX also wants to accomplish or to hit being top 5 exchanges in the world. So this is why UBX is also following the footstep, yeah, of all these exchanges that have been going through or did this launchpad. So with GC Capital's participation into UBX, definitely we are able to achieve what UBX wants to hit, which is our top 5 exchanges in coming years. Next. So how UBX Launchpad will fill 1,000 times of UBX token. Okay. Course, I think you need to help me to take over because we already reached to the counter of the immigration. So can you proceed? Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So actually, how does this Launchpad works and may manage to fuel us on our UBS tokens for 1,000 times is the sustained demand with new launches. So each new launch on UBX Launchpad require UBX token for participations to ensure ongoing cycle of demands. If you guys notice, we have two tokens ongoing, which is the XAI and also the UBC. So if you notice the dual token staking that we have, these two new launch tokens is using UBX as part of the dual token staking. So these are some of the methods we use for new launch coins. And also this will actually be boosting trading volume and liquidity for both of the tokens, for UBX and also the new launch token. So as more users acquired the UBX to participate in the launch, so trading volume for UBX will increase and making the token more liquid and valuable. So staking and holding benefits, especially whereby we have all the contracts like do you stake for 30 days, 180 days, or even 360 days. You have to hold and stake the tokens. So UBS will grant access to exclusive token like the UBC or even the XAI. So this promotes long-term investment and reduce people from selling when the price drop. They will sell pressure selling. So these are some of the advantage for having new tokens in our launchpad. So the deflationary supply mechanism as portion of the UBX token may be burned with each launch, this will actually reduce the total supply as well. So with this scarcity will comes in place, whereby it will be paired with rising demands and can lead to long-term pricing appreciation for our UBX token. So there will not be any tokens that will be launched in the exchange without pairing with UBX. So UBX will definitely, if you notice, the first launch when the UBC comes in, actually UBX price actually went up many, I think if I'm not wrong, it's almost more than 15% of the pricing. So the next was like XAI, and it was also managed to make the UBX token increase in value as well, up to now around near to $2. So this will continue when the Launchpad have more and more new tokens for different users. So benefit for UBX Launchpad and especially for the UBX user in earlier stage. Investing in top blockchain project before even on public launch. So it will secure higher ROI as an early investor like us now. So it will also increase utility and exclusive staking rewards. Like staking UBX token for launch and extra rewards will be given to all the users that do staking now. So more staking reduce circulating supply, enhancing token value for our UBX token. So now there is this exclusive use of EUSDT for earlier UBX investor. So if you notice that our XAI require EUSDT to be staked together with the UBX so that they can gain XAI, my XAI out. So earlier supporter gain access to EUSDT. So this EUSDT is very limited in supply because only the earlier stage investor will have this EUSDT. So it can be used mainly for all our launchpad in future, and priority will be given and is much like a discount for all the early investor. So limited supply, it will ensure potential long-term value appreciation. So currently now, our XAI is actually having a 30% EUSDT to be paired with 70% of UBX. So it will be ending shortly after, probably now I think left with 13 days. So if you guys have holding with EUSDT and you wish to mine the XAI out with a 30% usage of the EUSDT, please do it now, because probably in future there will be the pairing of like probably 10% with 90% UBX. So this period of time, make use of the USDT, and also the last one will be more project will comes, because most of the tokens will have a deflationary model, so it will promote long-term price growth. So this will reduce supply combined with increased demand, resulting higher token value over time. So most of our tokens, especially all the new tokens and even our UBX token, will actually generally increase in value. Okay, so thank you for joining us today, and sorry about the technical issue on the Zoom just now. So anyway, hope you guys likes the lesson for today, and please take a closer look and stay tuned with us on all our podcasts, because we have all the exciting informations that you can actually introduce your community or new members to come in to understand more about all our new launch. So tomorrow, just now I mentioned before the XAI and what is it all about, is actually on tomorrow's podcast talking about the XAI. So maybe you guys might wonder what is XAI all about. Tomorrow you will be able to get a clearer picture of what is the new tokens all about. So thank you for joining us and have a good night. Okay, bye bye.